Sunday. I don't know if we're in a good mood, but we are here. It's the Height Differential. Powered by Gridley. That's Neil. I'm Nick. Neil, you've had a couple hours to digest what went down at 1 o'clock. Did you have a good dinner with the fam?
It was good. A little Chinese food. Yeah, after a real rough day of football today. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, Tailgaters was great once again. Number one basement sports bar in the city. Food
Yeah.
spread was great. We were ready for the game, and we got to watch half of it. Couldn't even watch the second half.
Oh,
Watch half.
we definitely have to get into that. CBS pulling the plug on the Bengals Vikings, not even in the fourth quarter. I think midway through the third,
Yeah,
and they were gone to Pittsburgh and New England. I get it. I 100% get it. But when you're paying for Sunday ticket to get all these games and then it disappears because that's your local game and they decide to go away from it, it kind of stings a little bit.
it does. But to be honest, I mean, we were so over it. We even switched it off the big TV in the basement, put it on the small side TV. Like it was just an all around utter debacle that happened in Minnesota today, and
And,
that's why
and we'll get into that.
that's why we're depressed.
We are, but we'll get into that. We'll get into a lot more of college football and the NFL this weekend. But you're rocking your Reds cap there. They had a good weekend.
They're on a hot streak now. We ditched the black and orange, put on the red and white. The Cincinnati Reds, winners of 5 straight, sweep of a 4-game series over the Chicago Cubs, currently in the playoffs. We buried them. We talked about this a week or two ago. The dirt was on the grave. Baseball was over. I said it was a good thing they got me to football season, but it's baseball season again. Screw football. We're back into baseball mode.
Well, they got swept by the A's, and everybody's like, that's it. They've actually been put in the grave several times over the last month or so. But their odds now to make the playoffs are minus. As you said, they're in. They control their own destiny. Control their own destiny. They're minus for the first time, I think, all year to make the playoffs. They were plus 80 like a week, plus 850 like a week ago. And they've won 5 straight, swept the Cubbies. The Cubbies, I'm sure, clinching their wild card spot kind of played in their favor a little bit. But
Cubs might have had a little too much fun on the punching party. Might have drank a little too much champagne, a little too many Budweisers. Might be a little hungover, but now this week, Reds and Pirates, Cubs host the Mets, the team that the Reds are tied with. So we go from beating the Cubs in 4 straight to now being one of their biggest fans. So let's go Cubs.
Go Cubbies. And I guess another thing, today was tough, but a good thing for you yesterday was your alma mater. Kind of put it on Illinois there, a top 10 win for the Hoosiers.
How about that? I mean, going into the year, nobody knew how good Indiana was going to be. And they obviously come off that playoff appearance last year, which was, a surprise to a lot of people. And going into this year, can they repeat? It was the big question. And, for the first 3 games, they were playing a bunch of nobodies. So, I mean, Kennesaw State, you can't really take anything from that. So, first real test of the season against the top 10 Illinois team. I think they were ranked 9th or 8th.
They were 9th.
Yeah, so top 10 Illinois team in Bloomington. And, I mean, they took them to the woodshed on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois answered early to tie it at 7, and then you turn around and it was 21-7, and then it was 28-7, 35-7. They just kept putting it on them, and I mean, I think it's pretty clear this dude can coach a little bit.
He definitely can. I mean, he proved it at James Madison and year 1 with the Hoosiers, taking them to college football playoffs. So yeah, he definitely can coach a little bit. They've got some talent. Mendoza, the transfer quarterback from Cal, threw I think 5 touchdowns yesterday. Surratt, the wide receiver, playing really well. Pons, the defensive back, I think he had a return touchdown. So all the stars from last year were back, and they're all playing just as like they were last year. So Hoosiers up to 11th now in the AP poll, so they're in prime position to make a repeat trip to the college football playoff. Their conference schedule, they do play at Oregon, but they don't play Ohio States and the Michigans this year. So that one tough game on the road in Oregon, and after that, they should be able to win the majority of their games.
Kirk Cignetti, I mean, he comes in there and did what nobody thought was possible last year, and now to follow it up. We're still early in the season, but to put on a performance like that against a top 10 team, and I don't know how good Illinois is. They struggled in their win over Duke a couple weeks ago, where Duke kind of, you know, gave them a lot of opportunities where they could have kind of built a lead and didn't do it, and Illinois took advantage of it and won that game. I don't know how good Illinois really is, uh, but anytime you put it on somebody like that in the Big Ten is impressive. And like he's got that personality to where good coaches are a little bit crazy, right?
Oh,
And Signetti just kind of has that personality. You talked about how he talked post game about how he wasn't able to relax until he got to his desk with the beer. Like he just seems like, I don't know if I'd like to work for him because I bet he is kind of crazy, but that's the kind of coaches that have success.
that's the kind of coach that you want on your side. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So other, the other game yesterday that I thought was really intriguing was Oklahoma and Auburn. Jackson Arnold, who struggled with Oklahoma last year, now at Auburn and getting to face his former team. And he had some moments, but he also had a lot of moments on his backside as he was sacked 10 times as Oklahoma
Oof.
stayed undefeated and won that game.
I mean, Oklahoma's they keep answering the bell early in the season. The big win over Michigan, now another one against Auburn. Like they're the real deal. And there's no doubt about it. We talked about them maybe being that surprise team in the SEC, and the early returns are, I think they probably are one of the top 2-3 teams in that league. So Oklahoma in a great spot early on, and I don't expect them to go anywhere anytime soon.
Well, and Brent Venables obviously is a defensive minded coach. Was the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, was also there at Clemson. And anytime you see your team put your former quarterback on his backside 10 times, that's got to make you happy. And
Oh yeah,
he's got a quarterback now in John Mateer that I think you know is one of the better quarterbacks in college football. So yeah, I do think Oklahoma's a team that can make some noise, and we'll see what they do in SEC play because we know that's just a gauntlet game after game.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
At Grittily, we believe grit isn't just a word, it's a way of life. It's perseverance, resilience, courage, passion, and strength. That's why our wallets and winning bands are built to last, just like you. Right now, honor your grit and save 25% with promo code HD at checkout. Backed for life. That's the Grittily guarantee. Grittily, embrace your grit. And another team that continues to play well is Miami, who took care of a Florida team. I don't know how good Florida is with I don't know how good their offense is. I think their defense is pretty good, but they took care of Florida, and their schedule's been really impressive. So, Miami is a team that I think is what they're number 2 in the country now after the win on Saturday.
Oh yeah, yep. Miami definitely looks like the real deal. Like you mentioned their schedule, like week 1 tough test against Notre Dame, and they handled that challenge at home and took care of a pretty good South Florida team that had shown early signs of promise, and then yesterday taking on their rival in-state Florida Gators, and they beat them pretty handily. So Miami, not only are they winning against good teams, but they're winning pretty impressively. I know Notre Dame was a 1-score game, but their other games are taking care of business, and they're taking care of business well.
No, you gotta give them credit for that, and there's a lot of teams that really haven't played anybody yet, and you don't really know what you got, but with Miami, I think it's pretty clear. Like, they're a pretty good football team, and,
Oh yeah,
they've got Carson Beck, who's a former national champion, and now at Miami, which is still odd getting used to this, where you've got former national championships finishing their career at other schools, but that's the era that we are now in the transfer portal and NIL. But yeah, also, it's cool to see Miami back up top. It's a program with that much tradition, and it's been a while. Like what the 30 for 30. That's back in the 80s, right, when they were
oh yeah,
just ruling it. And Michael Irvin was a big reason for that. And now I think he's transitioned to where he is now the unofficial mascot, or maybe in the official mascot. They may have removed the duck, but Michael Irvin's on TV as much as anybody when you're watching their games.
oh yeah. Yeah, we don't need Sebastian the Ibis anymore. We got Michael Irvin. We need a Michael Irvin only camera, just one camera dedicated to Michael Irvin, watching him run up and down the sidelines, waving the towel, like screaming, yelling, jumping. Like he looks like he could still get out there, run a couple routes, score some touchdowns for the Canes. He's every time there's a touchdown, he's at the goal line within a second. Like how did you get there so fast? Like he's out there, he's cheering on his team, and it's good to see. He's obviously a big part of that program's history. But like you said, the U being back is good for college football. I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the year. I mean, I know next week they got a little bit of a little easy task. They're at Virginia, but then week after that, big test against number 8 Florida State in Tallahassee. So the Canes look for real. We'll find out soon enough again. If they really are for real. But so far so good for them.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Michael Irvin can make the trip to Tallahassee and see if they'll get sideline pass and let him run the sideline like he has done every game. I feel like this year. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, the Canes look really good, and a team that doesn't look that good, and we won't go too in depth on it, but Clemson losing another one to Syracuse, now 1-3. They moved the ball, like their offensively were pretty good, but man, they just I wonder what did Dabo give the grade this week?
I mean, it's the weekly Dabo report card, and I think Clemson Tigers, Dabo's got to give themselves a D minus or an F on this one. A home game to Syracuse, nothing against Syracuse. They were a really good team last year. They were finishing top 25 last year. They've got some early wins. They've struggled against some. I think they went to overtime against UConn. So Syracuse hasn't been too impressive. But when you go into what do they call themselves, Death Valley in Clemson, get a win, great for Syracuse. But if you're Clemson and the expectations you had coming into the season to be sitting there at 1-3, 0-2 in the conference, it's Dabo had that press conference last week where he was talking about the fans' criticism, and I don't think it's going to get any easier for him this week.
No, it's not. And I think we talked a little bit about this last Wednesday, but there were a lot of college football analysts that had them as their number one team in the country coming to
Mm-hmm.
the season. And to see them struggle as much as they have, I mean, I know that the LSU game was close, but they struggled against Troy in their only win too. So I mean, I don't think many people envision Clemson being 1-3, after a month into the season. So it'll be interesting to see if they can recover. And I mean, you're talking about bowl eligible right now with them, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still time to turn it around. We got only 25% of the season's gone by, so 8 more games for them. But they got to start winning. That's for sure.
So a lot of other blowouts in college football, so we won't go too into depth on the rest of those. And we're wrapping up Sunday night, so we're wrapping up the Sunday portion of the NFL schedule. And I mean, I think you can see it in our faces the way that the day started off with the Bengals just getting completely annihilated up there in Minnesota with 2 backup quarterbacks. I think a lot of people didn't know what to expect. I think maybe it could have gone, with the Bengals blowout, could have gone Vikings blowout, could have been close, but it's leaned towards the Vikings blowout direction.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to put it. It was an absolute embarrassment today from the Cincinnati Bengals. First franchise worst loss in terms of point differential. Um, you know, it, Carson Wentz coming in the game, obviously a backup, but he's been a starter. We talked about it. Like, we'd almost rather face J.J. McCarthy, but you could have put in a Pee Wee quarterback back there for the Vikings today, and the Bengals still probably would have lost. Like, there was just offensively, defensively, everything was just a complete disaster. 5 turnovers. The team just didn't look ready at all. I mean, it's everybody takes blame on this one. The players, the coaching staff, front office, like, it just is a complete disaster.
Well, I mean, you said it right there. Five turnovers. The Vikings had 31 points off turnovers. I mean, you're not gonna win any games. I don't care who the quarterback is. Like you said, you could put a Pee Wee quarterback back there, and there's nothing you can do. And Jake Browning was not good. The pick that he threw in the first quarter was atrocious. Like, you cannot do that when you're in scoring position. But I mean, that one pick is not why they lost this game. I mean, it's part of it. But anytime, I mean, heck, what they fumbled the ball 3 out of 4 plays, not possessions,
Like,
3
yeah,
out of 4 plays
plays,
at the end of the first half.
plays.
You're down 17-3 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first half, and you're driving, and then you put the ball on the deck, and Rodgers, who had already returned an interception for a touchdown, now picks up a fumble and takes it to the house. I mean, you just I don't care who the quarterback or anything. You turn the ball over that much, you're just not gonna win. And it's just I don't know. I don't know. It's Jake Browning was not good, but neither was their running game. And if Joe Burrow's not going to be there, and he's not, you
Yep.
got to figure out a way to run the ball to take some pressure off Jake Browning, and you got to quit. You can't put the ball on the turf as much as they did.
No, and it wasn't just the inexperienced guy like the Brownings and stuff that were making. Like Jamar Chase had that a crucial fumble. Samaje Perine, who's a veteran in this league, that pretty sure-handed guy, a guy that you can rely on, and he's putting the ball on the deck. Noah Fant has been a tight end in this league a couple years now. He was a second round pick just a couple years ago. He's putting the ball on the deck that was returned for a touchdown. So it's not just like inexperienced guys. These are guys that that you should be able to rely on your captains like Jamar Chase, and like they just look totally disinterested. The running game, as you mentioned, just abysmal. Through 3 games, they're the worst rushing team in the league by far. Chase Brown had a great year last year, but there's just nowhere for him to go. He gets the ball, and they're already in the backfield ready to tackle him. So something needs to change. I don't know if they need to change the scheme, the play calling, something needs to change. And the Bengals are still 2-1. Like as much as today sucked, but you just hope that this franchise worst loss just doesn't snowball into worse things to come. And the schedule here gets hard. You're a Monday Night Football in Denver. Then you've got 2 games against really quality NFC opponents in the Detroit Lions and at the Green Bay Packers. So it's not going to get any easier. They can't feel sorry for themselves. They've got to get back to work, and they've got to fix this, and they got to fix this fast.
Well, and you're going to play a Denver team who's 1-2 now after losing to the Chargers, so they're going to be hungry and looking to get off the snide. But I mean, I think it's become a yearly thing where it just takes them a while to get the running game going. I mean, it was like this last year too. Like it wasn't just the defense that struggled, early on, and the defense struggled later on into the year too, but they've struggled to get the run game going. I feel like the last couple of years. I mean, look how good Chase Brown was the second half of the season last year. He did not do that at the beginning of the season, and a lot of that was because Zach Moss was their starting running back. But even when Zach Moss was healthy and Chase Brown was in there, they still weren't running the ball the way they did in the second half of the year. So they've got to figure out a way to get the run game going, to take some pressure off of Jake Browning. And you're right, the schedule's tough, and that's why I thought the game today was so important. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also let's be honest, they didn't look great in the first 2 weeks of the year either. In getting those 2-0 wins, to move into 2-0, and they figured out ways to win late. But I mean, you didn't look at that game and be like, man, this is a team that's playing really well.
No, I mean, no. They got lucky to get out of Cleveland week 1 with a win, thanks to Schmidt with the Z, missing the
Yeah.
extra point, missing the 35-yard field goal. But he comes back today and drills a 55-yarder to beat what we thought was the best team in the NFL. And then last week against the Jaguars, which you mentioned, you think the Jaguars are better than people thought, and they got a pretty big win over the division rival Houston Texans today. So last week's win does look a little bit better than what we thought, and so does the Cleveland win, I think, especially after Cleveland won today. So we did not look good week 1 and 2, but the key word is we did win, and we won against teams that maybe are better than we thought. But I don't know. They can't continue playing like they have the first 3 weeks and expect to do anything this year.
No, and if you're playing in survival pools, I think a lot of people went out today with the Cleveland victory, against the Packers. I don't think anybody saw that one coming, especially such a low scoring game. But this is what the Browns do, man. They muck it up, they make it ugly. That's why I didn't care what that week 1 game looked like. Just getting out of there with a win was really all I cared about. And yeah, Andre Schmidt, or however you say his name with no vowels, missed that extra point and missed that kick. But anytime you can beat Cleveland, I'm fine with it. And the Packers, who a lot of people were saying, "Hey, this is the best team in the NFL after 2 weeks,"
I was
go in there and
I was
can
one of those
only
people.
put up 10 points.
Yeah, I mean that's what life in the NFL is like, I guess. It's like you think you have it all figured out, and then all of a sudden a team like the Browns beat the Packers, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, who is good? The Eagles clawed one out today against a good Rams team, but the Eagles, I think, aren't quite as good. They've won, but they've won close. So they're maybe not quite as the juggernaut as I thought maybe they would be. But who is good? I'll tell you who's good. The Indianapolis Colts are good. They're pretty good. Another beatdown of the Tennessee Titans today. But
Well, I can tell you who's not good.
The Tennessee
The
Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
But I mean, it's the Chiefs start out. I mean, it's anybody's NFL right now. So you think you have it figured out one week, and then the next week something surprises you. So we'll see how it shakes out. But I don't know that there's that dominant team that I can point to after week 3.
No, and I mean, I think after what Daniel Jones has done in the 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of his, Colts career, they're now calling him Indiana Jones. Like, where
I love it.
Danny Dimes, no more. It's now Indiana Jones. He is the first quarterback with 3 plus TD passes, 3 plus TD rushes, and no turnovers in the first 3 weeks in the Super Bowl era. I mean, who could have predicted that? I mean, he's running around making plays looking like Josh Allen. You did not predict him to be this good. You maybe you could have.
I was not a Daniel Jones hater like you and
Yeah,
most of the other America was. I thought Daniel Jones was a decent quarterback and given a new opportunity was going to be a pretty good quarterback. That's why I picked the Indianapolis Colts to win that division. And guess
yeah.
what? You laughed at me, and it's looking pretty good.
But the Colts started off that game with a pick six. There were 9 non-offensive touchdowns today, which was the most since 2020. The Eagles had a block kick that helped them win that game against the
Two.
Rams.
They had 2 block kicks.
Yeah, two block kicks. So a lot of crazy plays this week to help teams win. The Jets had a late blocked kick against the
Mhm,
Bucks, and then Baker Mayfield does what Baker Mayfield does and marches
mhm.
them down for another game-winning field goal. You talked about what was the second game you talked about? Um,
I mean, the Browns blocking the
yeah,
Packers were kicking a field goal to go up to take a 3-point lead with 30 something seconds left. Browns blocked that one, and that led to their game winning field goal. So, fantasy owners rejoicing today if you have the right defense in place because a lot of defense and special teams points were scored on the football field. I think it was four fourth quarter blocked field goals, most blocked field goals in a single week since 1991. So I don't know what's going on, but that's that's something that you don't see very often.
well, and if you had Minnesota's defense, congratulations because you won your week
Yeah, you sure did. You
with
sure
that
did.
one. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, they figured out a way to win against New England in a game where New England just refused to score touchdowns
2
as they were
turnovers
throwing
in the
picks
end
in the
zone.
end zone. They
Yep,
fumbled right
in the end zone.
outside of the end zone.
Yep,
So they still had a chance to win late
yep.
and couldn't get it done. So the Bills on Thursday, even, it took them with some late interceptions to kind of hold the Dolphins off in a
Mhm.
game where I don't think anybody saw the Dolphins competing in that one. And there was a roughing the punter that really kind of changed the game in that one, where the Dolphins were about to get 2 straight stops and get the ball back, and instead they have that roughing the punter, and the Bills go down to score and really kind of get to momentum, and the Dolphins really not never threatened again to win, but.
Yeah, like I said, like, I don't know if you can point after week 3 to these are your Super Bowl favorites. I mean, there's each team has shown that they've got flaws. So after week 3, I don't think that there's that clear team you can point to.
So our undefeated teams now we're down to what, 6? The Bills, the Colts, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Bucks, and the 49ers.
49ers. Yeah,
Another close game where they held off. Well, they hit another big kick. They hit
field
kick
goal.
late in the game to beat the Cardinals. So
Yep,
the kickers today had a lot of good moments and a lot of really bad moments with kicks getting blocked.
yep, yeah.
So of those 6 2-0 teams, who do you like the best?
I mean, it's hard to go. I mean, it's hard to go against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, as you said, they had a close game against the Dolphins, which they should have blown them out, and they were very, very, very fortunate to win that game against Baltimore a couple weeks ago. But probably the Bills. Yeah, the Eagles don't look like they were as good as I thought, but they are sitting there at 3-0.
I mean, they
I
figured out
think
a way to win on the road,
they do. I
you
think
know?
maybe the Chargers. The Chargers look like the Chargers might be for real. Jim Harbaugh's got them rolling out there in LA, 3-0 against, and they've beaten the Chiefs. They've beaten the division rival now Broncos. You know they've got it going.
I I mean, I think the Bills are the obvious answer, but
Yeah,
my and the Eagles too. Anytime you go out west and you win, I don't care how you do it. That's to me, that's a good win. But Justin Herbert looks like he may have taken another step. He's making throws outside of the pocket. they look like a really good team, and you know they're going to be good defensively with Harbaugh as their head coach. So
Mhm.
I just been really impressed with the Chargers.
I agree.
And we close out the NFL Week 3 schedule with the good one on Monday night. It's always good when there's a good Monday night game that you look forward to. With we got the Lions and the Ravens. Is that game in Baltimore or is it in Detroit?
It is in Baltimore. It was a
Okay.
Baltimore game.
So be interesting that everybody was putting the Lions as dead after week 1, and then they put up a 50 burger last week. So that should be plenty of points scored in that one.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's game should definitely be entertaining. It's always good when you have a really good Monday Night Football game. You know, if it was like the the Titans and somebody, you know, like yeah, it's a little snooze fest. But tomorrow's game is much appointment TV, must watch. I won't fall asleep for this one like I have a few others, so we'll stay up for this one. But
Yeah.
you're right, a lot of points expected to be scored.
Yeah, it's still very disappointing that you didn't see the end of that Bills Ravens game in week 1 there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know
gotta
about
get
that.
gotta
Are
get
you
your
really
beauty
a sports fan if you're not staying up for that one?
gotta get your beauty sleep sometimes.
Well, it ain't working. I guess to switch gears a little bit, Cal Raleigh hit another home run. We got to talk a little baseball, right? We're getting close to the postseason.
Yep,
Hit his 58th or 58th
58 today. Yep.
58th home run, which is he's a switch hitter. It's the most ever by a switch hitter. And now the Mariners are now 2 games up in the AL West, so it looks like they have a really good chance of getting into the postseason. The only team that has never played in the World Series. Can the Mariners do it this year? Can they get to the Fall Classic?
I mean, they're hot right now. You know, they're winning a lot of baseball games. In that league, you know, like the Tigers, who were running away with the AL Central, or all of a sudden come back to earth,
Yeah,
and they're only one game up on the Guardians. And then in the East, you've got the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. I think are in second place, but a wild card
yeah.
team. But I mean, the Mariners have just as good a shot as anybody out there. I mean, there's no question. I think that they probably would be the second choice right now, to make that World Series if
Well,
looking at the odds. But I think they absolutely can make the World Series.
I mean, you want to go in hot, right? Like you want to
Hmm.
go in playing the best baseball you played all year, and for the last month they've done so. In the last 10 games, they're 9-1, so they're playing really well. And anytime you've got a bat like Kyle Raleigh in the middle of your lineup, you know you got to feel good about your chances. But it's hard to believe that as long as they've been a franchise, they've never gotten to the World Series. So it'd be pretty cool to see them get that done.
I mean, even those teams that were uber talented there in like the late '90s with Griffey, or early 2000, 2001, 2001
Yeah,
when they had all those 100 something wins with.
116 wins.
Yeah, I mean, they've had the talents of King Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez and Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner. The list goes on and on. Randy Johnson's throwing on the mound, and to never be in a World Series, it's kind of surprising, especially with the talent that they
Hey,
used to have. But
don't be leaving David Bell off of that list. The former Louisville
either,
Bats and Cincinnati Reds manager was also on
yeah,
that team.
yeah,
So no, I mean, and that team didn't even make it to the ALCS.
no,
I mean, the last I don't know for a fact, but I think the last time they've been to the NLCS was '95 when they lost to the Cleveland Indians. But
yeah.
I mean, they had some good teams back in the '90s and in the early 2000s. But good to see the Mariners playing well. Our boy Alex Mayer, the PR director for the Seattle Mariners, having some good things to write about, and hopefully he'll have some more good things to write about here in October.
Maybe if they do make the World Series, we gotta give all Alex Mayer a call, see if we can get him on as a guest.
Dude, that would be a pretty good pull.
It would be all
That
right.
would be a pretty good pull. So, in honor of Cal Raleigh, I decided this be a good little trivia opportunity.
I love trivia.
58, he's the most all-time by a switch hitter in a single season.
Yeah.
Can you name the other 9 in the top 10?
Well, Mickey Mantle is who we just passed.
Yes, and he had the next 2. So
Okay.
he hit 54 and 61, and he hit 52 and 56.
Your boy
So
Chipper Jones has got to be on that list.
Chipper Jones is number 5 with 45 in 1999. And also Mickey Mantle was 9th with 42 in 1958. So you're off to a good start.
So how many other actual names am I missing here in the top 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is Ellie De La Cruz on that list from
He
his
is
30
not.
home run season from
He is
last
not.
year? Uh,
He's not in the top
Um,
25.
switch hitting. I'm not. I, I really don't know many switch hitters. Who were some good switch hitters from back in the day? It's a tough one.
You don't remember who moved the both sides of the batter's box?
Oh man, not off the top of my head very well. Larry Walker, wasn't he a switch hitter?
He was, but he's not on here.
Dang.
Actually, I don't think he was a switch hitter. I think he just switch hit in the All-Star game to get
When
away
Randy
from Randy
Johnson threw one
Johnson.
above his dome. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to embarrass you. Just want me to go to tell you the top
You
10.
might as well. Yeah.
Lance Berkman in 2006, he
Oh,
had
that's right.
45.
Yeah.
Anthony Santander with the Orioles had 44 last year. I would have had no idea about that.
Zero chance I got that one.
Mark Teixeira, 43 and 05. Lance Berkman again in 02 with 42. And then Carlos Beltran and Todd Hundley both had 41, and both with the Mets. Beltran did it in 06 and Hundley did it in 96.
Yeah.
How many of those could you have got? You could have got Berkman.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the Berkman. But yeah, outside of that, I probably would not have gotten Santander or whoever you just mentioned from the Orioles. 0% chance on that one.
I mean, you could have said play this game for a month, and and it just happened last year, and I would have had no idea. No idea. But Mickey Mantle's on here again. Like the King Caminiti is right off the list at 12th with 40 for the Padres.
Yeah.
You know, another good baseball story. I don't know if you saw Mike Trout hit his 400th home run. And, you know, the fan that catches the ball, they can do whatever they want with it, right? They can keep it. They can sell it. They can try to make money off of it.
I mean,
So this gentleman catches the ball.
as we've seen.
You can steal it from a kid. You can, Philly Karen can go grab it from you and make you give it to her. There's a lot of things that can happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But so he does the right thing, I guess. Gives him the ball. Gives it to Mike Trout. And, like, dude, they're going to take care of you. They're not going to be like, all right, thanks, see ya. Thanks for the ball. No, we're not going to give you anything. But this dude, all he asks is to have a catch with Mike Trout. So they go out in the field. Mike Trout doesn't even have a glove, and they're just playing catch on the field, which I thought was pretty cool.
No, it's an outstanding story. I mean, you hear you could get greedy with this. Like you could try to keep the ball for yourself, sell it, try to make some money, whatever you're trying to do with it. But good on that guy. Very stand up thing to do. Give it back to him. Not ask for anything really in return except to just have a catch. So I mean that's a memory that you're gonna make for the rest of your life. That's a story that not everybody can tell. So I mean that's a really cool moment, especially in times where you see a lot of negative things happening on home run balls, as we just saw in the last couple of weeks. But good on that guy.
Yeah. So no, just thought it was a cool story to close with. Always, I mean, you see all this bad things happening, and just seeing something kind of really wholesome like that, I thought was really cool. And
what do we think that ball was worth? What's a 400 home run ball from Mike Trout worth? Do you think?
Dude, I wouldn't even know where to start. I mean, I don't even 100,000. Is that too high?
Let's just say it was 100,000. What would you do if you caught Mike Trout's 400 home run ball? What would you do? What would you ask for? What would you do with the ball? What would you do?
I mean, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. I mean, I'm gonna make something happen with it, right? I mean, I'd like to make some money off of it.
So you're not giving it back. So you're not going to give it back to Mike Trout. Oh no!
Like you've got a free check for whatever the dollar amount is. If it's less than $100,000, but you got a free opportunity to make some cash. Like it'd be hard to just be like, "Hey, can I have a bat?" Right?
That's true. Yeah, like that's what you do.
I think you would regret that for a long time. And there's a lot of good things you can do with $100,000.
No, there's no question about it. I mean,
shit, yeah. Like you could sell it to Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Right?
What did you meet Mike Trout and you start negotiations in the clubhouse? All right, Mike, opening offer 100,000.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, I might go out and hire an agent Tell him to negotiate this thing. Give me the most you can get if he really
So
wants
you
it.
catch the ball. So if you catch the ball, are you just leaving the ballpark immediately?
Dude, you
I think you
might
do.
you might get security, yeah, and get
I think you
escorted
got to
out of
get
there.
out of there as soon as you can.
Yeah. I just think if you don't, and I know it maybe sounds a little greedy, but that's an opportunity to make some cash.
What?
And
Greedy.
right? Are
Yeah.
you're just gonna give it, you're not just gonna be like, here's the ball. I don't know. I just 4 minutes ago said how wholesome it was. And then I put myself in the same situation. And,
You're
you
asking for
know,
$1 million over here.
I'm not asking for 1,000,000, but if he's gonna give me 1,000,000, I'll take it. Right?
Mr.
I'm not
Trout, I
gonna
believe
turn
this
that
belongs
down.
to you, but it'll cost you 100 grand. Yeah, I'm don't blame you. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think it's probably the right answer is you try to go make some cash on it.
I
But
mean, how many lottery tickets you gonna get in your life? Winning lottery tickets.
winning an already proven winning
That's a
lottery.
winning lottery ticket that you have hurt your hand catching. Like, you've
You
also
didn't have
got
a
a little bit
glove?
of pain in there.
Did you not have a glove? How's he
I
gonna play a
don't
catch? He wants to play catch with
This
Mike
dude
Trout
had a
with no
glove.
glove?
I don't bring my gloves to the park, so if I catch a ball, it's not gonna be in a
That's
glove.
true. That's true.
I think best case scenario is I'll catch with my hat so I don't hurt my hand. But yeah, dude, like you ain't gonna just throw away a lottery ticket, and it's a winning lottery ticket. It's guaranteed.
It's money in the bank.
It's yeah, and there's a lot
No,
of good things
you're
you can
right.
do with that. And I know
You
Mike Trout's
catch
got plenty of money.
That's true. You catch it and you leave the ballpark, and then you go work on trying to get yourself a couple $100,000.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna need a couple of y'all with me to wanna be in front, wanna be behind me as we're getting out of there to be my security. Cause,
That'll cost you
cause,
$100,000 for
'cause
me to do that.
100,000 is that ain't gonna be it, but you get a little cut.
I'll take
You
a
get a
cut.
little cut.
I'll take a cut.
So, all right, well, Neil, you gotta get your I don't know what's going on with your internet, but we gotta get that figured out next week.
I don't know, man. It's the first week we've had problems with it, at least on my computer. We do got we'll get it figured out at some point.
We gotta get it figured out. But yeah, tough day to be a Who Day, but still some good close games, a lot of defensive scores, and unfortunately, a couple of them were against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they took home a 38-point loss, which is the most in Cincinnati history. But looking forward to watching the game tomorrow night, and we'll be back with you on Wednesday, right? To talk, kind of preview the college football and NFL season, and talk about whatever else is going on in sports. You got anything else?
That's all I got. As we were talking, another blocked kick, an extra point in this
What's
Sunday
going
night
on?
game. The Giants score a touchdown, tie the game at 6, extra point, which is usually pretty easy, to go up 1 on the Chiefs, and it's blocked.
It's a block party.
So it is a block
It's a
party.
block
Something in the
party.
water today.
So let's finish this block party. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. For Neil, I'm Nick. You're listening to the Height Differential, powered by Gridley.
Give it. Give it.
At Gridley, we believe grit isn't just a word, it's a way of life. It's perseverance, resilience, courage, passion, and strength. That's why our wallets and winning bands are built to last, just like you. Right now, honor your grit and save 25% with promo code HD at checkout. Backed for life. That's the Gridley guarantee. Gridley, embrace your grit.